this. We are on the map in Florida, where Governor Ron DeSantis says his state is leading the charge when it comes to immigration issues. This morning at a Florida ICE facility, he touted what's called Operation Tidal Wave. If you don't know what that is, it's the latest round of ICE arrests, assisting President Trump's drive for mass deportations.
Border security and immigration enforcement was perhaps the signature issue of the president's first campaign in 2016 and this one where he got reelected. So we saw an opportunity to have a much different relationship with the federal government as it relates to immigration enforcement. So immediately I instructed our state agencies to engage in what are called 287G agreements with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which basically leads to our state agencies being able to exercise authority in the immigration sphere to supplement and cooperate with the federal government.
So let's go to CBS News national correspondent Manuel Bojorquez. He joins us live. Manny, tell us more about this so-called Operation Tidal Wave. How does it work?
It's something that Governor Ron DeSantis said could be a model for other states. It's essentially a collaboration between local law enforcement agencies, say in a state like Florida, and the federal government, namely ICE. So today he referenced 1,100 arrests in 1 week here in the state of Florida. He said many of these are people who had final deportation orders or were alleged criminals. But what we're finding out from speaking with people here on the ground in South Florida is that many of the people who were caught up in this also did not have criminal records and were undergoing either the asylum process or some other process to try to become legal in this country and had work permits. We spoke with a woman from Guatemala who says that her partner was arrested, that she fears that he will be deported even though he has a court appointment coming up and had a work permit to be in this country. He worked construction. They have a 3-month-old baby, and now left behind, she doesn't know what she will do without the breadwinner of the family.
Well, Manny, we know deportations happen with every presidential administration, but there's a difference here. This administration wants to make all of these very high profile to send a message. I mean, to that point, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called this operation kind of a preview of what's to come around the country, sort of speaking to that desire by the administration to boost the prominence of all of these. So should we expect to see more operations with some of the details like you mentioned ahead?
Yeah, all indications are that, for example, here in Florida, at least, where you have a Republican governor who has also made this a forefront issue, is that you may have more operations like this. It's unknown whether blue states would do that, but there's going to be a fight between the federal government and some of those areas that do not want to do this type of enforcement. Again, the key here is using local law enforcement to detain people who are suspected of being in the country illegally instead of just ICE. But critics also say that that could make communities vulnerable because immigrants, whether legal or not, would be afraid to call the police, say if they were victimized, become victims of a crime or witnesses to a crime. So there's a lot of back and forth on whether that's a good thing.
News from the neighborhood level and right there in Florida. Manny Bojorquez, we appreciate you. Good to talk to you.